Dear students, we are in the third lecture where we are discussing about the relative clause. In this lecture, we will discuss about the types of relative clause. In the first two lectures, we understand what's a clause, what's a relative pronoun, and how can we define the relative clause. And thereafter, we discussed various relative pronouns and their application, their uses in a relative clause. In this third lecture, we will know about the types of the relative clause. Dear students, we have got two types of relative clauses. One is called defining relative clause and second one is called non-defining relative clause. Defining relative clause, this clause adds essential information to a sentence and the clause can't be omitted. So here we can say that defining relative clause, it adds an important information to a sentence and the clause can't be taken out from the sentence. For example, here we have got a sentence, that is the man who stole my bicycle. Who stole my bicycle is here a relative clause. Similarly, this is the book that I read. That I read is here the relative clause. Now, as we discussed that we can't take this clause out or this clause can't be omitted. For example, if we take this clause out, the sentence here will remain, that is the man. That means the meaning of the sentence will change if we take out the clause from the sentence. So here we will only get that is the man, what man, that is the book, what book, okay? Dear students, in the defining relative clause, we often leave out the relative pronoun if it is the object of a verb in a relative clause. When the relative pronoun is the object of a verb in a relative clause, then we leave out, we omit this. Here we can say the relative pronoun. For example, here is a sentence, the only thing he cares about is his horse. We can here add the relative pronoun that, the only thing that he cares about, but that here becomes the object of the verb in a sentence, so we leave out it. Similarly, in the second sentence, what have you done with the money I gave you? Here we can add or we can say here is a relative pronoun that, but this that also here becomes the object of the verb. That's why we can leave out it here, okay? So when the relative pronoun becomes the object of the verb in a relative clause, then we can leave out that relative pronoun as it's evident from these two examples. Now let's move to the non-defining relative clause. Dear students, this non-defining relative clause, it adds non-essential information, that is, which is not important to a sentence, and the clause can be left out. We can say the clause can be omitted. For example, my cousin brother who is 15 years old is coming on Sunday. Here you know that my cousin brother who is 15 years old is coming on Sunday. Here who is 15 years old is a relative clause. If we take out or left out this clause here, the sentence here will remain, my cousin brother is coming on Sunday. Still the sentence gives the meaning. So here the meaning of the sentence does not change if we take out this relative clause here. Got it? But dear students, non-relative clause, it gives us extra information about the subject in a sentence. For example, in the very first sentence, my cousin brother who is 15 years old, so it gives extra information about the subject, my cousin brother. Similarly, in the second sentence, my sister who works in China likes sweets. So here who works in China is a relative clause. It gives us extra information about the subject, that's my sister. I will take the bus which I think arrives in about 10 minutes. Okay, so here this which I think, it gives the extra information about the subject. Moreover, you will find that we make the use of commas in non-relative clauses in non-defining relative clause, while as commas are not used in defining relative clauses. Dear students, please watch this video, go through the first and second lectures regarding relative clause. You will be inshallah fine to answer any of the question that's being asked from the relative clause topics. Thank you very much.